Presiden Amerika Serikat Donald Trump mengancam akan menyerang Kuba jika perang dengan Iran telah usai. Trump mengatakan rencananya itu didukung warga AS keturunan Kuba yang selama ini menentang pemerintahan komunis di negeri Karibia itu. Hubungan antara AS dan Kuba merenggang sejak era Perang Dingin. Washington saat ini mengenakan sanksi dan melakukan blokade yang memicu kesulitan ekonomi di negara kepulauan tersebut. Presiden Kuba Miguel Díaz-Canel mengatakan bahwa tidak ada pembenaran bagi AS untuk melancarkan serangan terhadap negaranya. Dia memperingatkan bahwa hal itu akan direspons dengan perlawanan sengit.
I would say it's holding well. Their military is destroyed. Their whole Navy is underwater. You know that 158 ships are gone. Their Navy's gone. Most of their mine droppers are gone. We have a lot of people, as you know, at 10 o'clock tomorrow, we have a blockade going into effect. That'll be 10 o'clock tomorrow. Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil. Okay. Thank you very much. You probably heard that a lot of very good things are happening with regard to the Strait, Hormuz, and a lot of good things are happening for our country. It's been very strong. We had some tremendous numbers released economically on jobs and everything else, and things are going very well. What's that? Say it. I would say it's holding well. Their military is destroyed. Their whole Navy is underwater. You know that 158 ships are gone. Their Navy's gone. Most of their mine droppers are gone. We have a lot of people, as you know, at 10 o'clock tomorrow, we have a blockade going into effect. That'll be 10 o'clock tomorrow. Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil. And that would be very effective. But what we want to do is we want to, and again, we don't need it. What we notice and what we see and what I think is maybe my idea, maybe not, I don't know. But there are many boats heading toward our country to fill up with oil and then go and take it. So they're not going to go through the Hormuz Strait. And ultimately that'll be corrected. But in the meantime, they're using us. We have more oil because of drill, baby, drill. We have more oil than Russia and Saudi Arabia put together. So if you look at Russia and Saudi Arabia, two big ones, we have much more oil than they have put together. And what's happening is boats are coming over here, filling up. They don't have to go through the Hormuz.
Can you give us an update, Mr. President, on the two pilots? Are they in good condition? Have you spoken to them or their families?
They are in very good shape, and we're very proud of them, the two pilots, yeah.
You said in Iran, earlier that Iran left this about the table. What's that thought?
I think Iran is in very bad shape. I think they're very desperate. We had a meeting that lasted 21 hours. We understand the situation better than anybody, and Iran's in very bad shape. And just so you understand, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. Will not have. There is no way that they're going to get. They still want it, and they made that clear the other night. Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
How long are you waiting for them to come back?
Oh, I don't know. I don't care if they come back or not. If they don't come back, I'm fine. Their military is gone. Their missiles are largely depleted. The manufacturing capability for missiles and drones is largely defeated. We've been very nice. We haven't ripped down too many bridges. We did one only because they broke their word. They broke their promise. And remember, their promise was that they were going to open the Hormuz Strait. They didn't do it. They lied.
Do you have other countries right now who are willing to...
Yeah, they're coming up and they're helping. Yeah, we have many other countries.
Do you have any specific countries that will be buying the oil from the United States? Have you had any talks with specific...
Well, you just have to see. But ships are heading up to our country right now, empty, and they're going to go back filled up with oil.
Mark Russo this week. You've been very frustrated with NATO countries. Are you planning on?
Well, they're coming up. They're going to be coming up, but I'm very disappointed in NATO. They didn't do that. They weren't there for us. We pay trillions of dollars for NATO, and they weren't there for us. Remember what I said. NATO was not there. Now they want to come up, but there's no real threat anymore. But NATO was not there for us.
Are you going to punish the countries who didn't help you?
We'll see what happens. But, we spend trillions of dollars on NATO to help them guard really against Russia. When you think of it, we're guarding against Russia. And I've long thought it was a little ridiculous, but we spend trillions of dollars doing it. And I think that's going to be under very serious examination. Thank you very much.
Ketegangan di Selat Hormuz memuncak setelah Amerika Serikat mengerahkan kapal perang canggih untuk mengamankan jalur perdagangan global. Dua destroyer, USS Frank E. Peterson dan USS Michael Murphy, dikirim di tengah situasi panas, namun langkah ini justru memicu respons keras dari Iran. Teheran dengan tegas menyatakan bahwa selat strategis tersebut berada di bawah kendali penuh mereka melalui Korps Garda Revolusi Iran, IRGC. Setiap kapal yang melintas tanpa izin, disebut akan dianggap ancaman dan berisiko diserang. Bahkan, dalam rekaman yang beredar, armada Iran memperingatkan langsung kapal perang AS untuk segera menjauh. Di tengah negosiasi yang masih berlangsung, kapal perang AS akhirnya memilih mundur dan memutar balik. Situasi ini menunjukkan betapa rapuhnya stabilitas kawasan dan besarnya potensi konflik yang bisa berdampak langsung pada perdagangan energi global serta ekonomi dunia. Ketegangan global kembali meningkat, setelah Inggris secara tegas menolak rencana Amerika Serikat untuk memblokade kapal-kapal Iran di Selat Hormuz. Langkah ini langsung memicu perhatian dunia, apalagi setelah Presiden Donald Trump mengancam akan menghancurkan kapal manapun yang mencoba melintas di jalur vital perdagangan energi tersebut. Namun, di tengah tekanan dari Washington, Perdana Menteri Keir Starmer memilih sikap berbeda. Ia menegaskan bahwa Inggris tidak akan ikut terseret dalam konflik dan tetap berpegang pada prinsip kebebasan navigasi. Bahkan, London sebelumnya juga menolak penggunaan pangkalan militernya untuk operasi serangan terhadap Iran. Perbedaan sikap ini memperlihatkan retaknya soliditas Sekutu Barat di tengah krisis Timur Tengah yang semakin panas. Dengan Selat Hormuz sebagai titik krusial dunia, keputusan Inggris ini berpotensi mengubah arah dinamika geopolitik global dan meningkatkan risiko eskalasi konflik yang lebih luas.